Swinging across the creek and eating crow. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, when Grandpa was a little boy, we lived on a farm. This farm was nearly flat, had mostly rich black topsoils, and had a small drainage creek running through the back half of the property. There was a line of trees along the edge of that creek in a few places near the south line, which made a wonderful place for little boys to play on warm, sunny days. You can again see a map of the property on page 72. I had an older brother named Tommy. He and I were nearly the same size, but he was a year and a half older than I was. There were few boys of our age living on the farms nearby, so he and I were usual playmates. One day we were by the creek, which had only a small amount of water running through it, and we noticed vines hanging from one of the trees. One was as large as a rope and looked strong enough to carry us. We got it separated from its roots and noted that we could swing on it without pulling it loose from the tree limbs above. Our pleasure was doubled because we knew that Tarzan would use vines to swing from one tree to another. The best we could do, however, was to swing across the creek. The weeds and grass were tall along the sides of the creek, but they soon got trampled down. We had a great time with that whole deal. Half of the pleasure was in telling the stories of our adventure to our parents. In that same grove of trees, my father noticed some crow's nests with young crows. They had grown big enough that they would be ready to fly and leave the nest soon. As it happened one Sunday, Uncle Wendell Jackson, my mother's brother, and a farmer near Shelbyville, and his family had come for dinner. He helped Daddy get the crows out of the nest. When my father suggested that we should eat them for dinner, Wendell, we always called him Uncle Jack, said that he would have nothing to do with that. He took his whole family, Auntie Cleo, Imogene, and Raymond, and went home without dinner. He emphatically said he would not eat crow. We took the young crows to the house, dressed them as we would young frying chickens, and anticipated having them for dinner that Sunday afternoon. It so happened that Walter and Ina Griffin came from Decatur unexpectedly to the farm during that same afternoon. This was during the days of World War II, when people were encouraged to have victory gardens to grow as much food as possible. Ina was Mama's cousin, and my folks gave them space by our garden for them to plant their vegetables. They had only come to work in their garden, but that day, since Uncle Jack and his family had left early, they were invited to stay for dinner. After the meal was over, Walter commented about the wonderful fried spring chicken that we had served. Mama knew how to fry it so nice and crisp on the edges with the flavor locked inside. It was only after dinner that they found out that they had just eaten crow. To eat crow is a slang term meaning to be forced to accept or perform something embarrassing, such as retracting an emphatic statement. Everyone considers it to be a derogatory statement. No one wants to eat crow. But it may not be so bad, as I have tried to show you in this true story. So when you are told to go eat crow, it really may be good, especially if it fills your belly.